Today, we are giving you the best market update with all of the goods.
Yes. So there's a lot been going on around here. Prices are going down, interest rates are going up, feeling like Chicken Little where the sky is falling, but we're not all doom and gloom here. We're going to give you some stats to talk about exactly what's going on in the Sacramento area. And that covers
The whole Sacramento region, which is Sac County, Placer County, Dorado County, and Yolo County.
First things first is we are down about 40% of the pandemic gains that we saw. Let's give you a little bit of numbers to start off with.
So the median price point at the height of the market was $185,000 in gains. Now we are roughly $75,000 in gains. So gains as a whole has dropped 40%. And, we do often see seasonal softening, but this acceleration of decline is just happening much quicker than we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still above compared to
Yes.
pre-pandemic. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we could sit here and only talk about it from a, quote unquote negative perspective, doom and gloom. Oh my God, everything's down 40%. But the other way to look at this is median price is still up 110% from March of 2020. If you bought around then, the value of your home is still there, and we're still seeing the regular seasonal dip, and that, likely will continue to go up next year. So it's really easy to fall into this trap of like, oh my God, values are down, I should sell. No, that's not what you should do. If there's no reason for you to sell, don't sell.
And that's the same whether you're buyer or seller, right? You need to look at where you are in your situation and then make a educated decision, whether it's the right time to sell or buy. Really understanding just because we are down, depending on when you purchased your home, you still might be up 110%. Mm-hmm. So we really need to take your lifestyle into consideration to determine what would be the best course of action. And if you're not buying or selling, this might not affect you right now.
Exactly. So let's look historically kind of at some of the numbers from the beginning of the pandemic to where we're at now. Back in March of 2020, the median price point in the Sacramento region, so again, that's the 4 counties, was $440,000 for a single family home. We hit the peak of the median price point in April of 2022, and it was $625,000. So as of October of 2022, that number has dropped down to $550,000. Interestingly enough, $550,000 is the same median price point that we had in October of 2021.
Right. So our median price point right now is the exact same as October 2021.
Exactly.
Or October to October.
Yes. So we kind of saw this rise, we hit the peak, and now we're kind of coming back down and seeing that softening. Like you mentioned, Nicole, that acceleration has been a lot greater than we traditionally see, but I think it's just the market correcting itself from the rapid growth that we saw between 2020 and 2022.
Absolutely. And there's determining factors that are helping it, right? Mm-hmm. So the interest rates, the inventory, the fact that there's elections going on where people are taking a pause and being like, wait a minute, let me evaluate the situation before I just rush into something. There's a lot of good things happening in this market for both buyers and sellers. There really are. But the headline, the media really likes to cover the doom and gloom. So what I really enjoy about our show is how we just talk about stats.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that we should mention is these are the median price points. So just because we've seen this dip doesn't mean that it's the same percentage in every area or every neighborhood or every county. So I really like a quote that Ryan Lundquist, who is the Sacramento Appraisal blog, check him out. He said, all ships rise and fall with the tide. So all the houses with the flow of the tide are going to go up. That doesn't mean they're going to go up exactly the same amount or down the same amount. Don't think that, oh, just because that house sold for 5% less as a buyer, I can get this one for 5% less in a completely different area, county, or neighborhood. You've got to look, specifically within that area and see what's going on there. That's why you work with people like us. So one of the questions that we thought would be interesting to discuss is, why is this information important for sellers to understand?
Right. And it really is important. So knowing what your home value is right now is so critical for home sellers, and not to overprice. What happens if you overprice your home? It not only is it going to sit on the market, but then when you have to go and do a price decrease, you are losing any power that you may have had. And then your house is sitting on the market longer. But not only that, if the prices have gone down in that 30 to 45 days you were on the market, you have just lost more money. So you need to make sure that you have a real estate specialist, a realtor who knows your area, your market, and really look at the comparables. And I am talking apples to apples. If your house is not updated, don't go be looking at your neighbor's houses that's updated. If your house is 2,000 square feet, don't be go looking at the neighbors that's 2,800 square feet. You have to make sure that you are pricing your home correctly the first time.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, especially in these times of a declining market, to understand that closed deals are historical data. They're what the market looked like almost 3 months ago.
Meaning they're putting it on, they did the comps, the comparables 3 months ago, using those comps, then listing it, then going through the for sale and escrow.
Yeah, because you've got to look at the whole time frame. When the house got listed, when it got into contract, by the time it closed, that's where most people look at those prices. But that really is the activity of the month before, when it likely got into contract. You want to, make sure you're working with somebody who understands these things. And there are certain times when, yes, closed data is really good to use, but there are other times when the things that are active and pending are going to give you more information. Because if a house has been sitting for 45 days, do you really want to price it at what that house is? Because it hasn't sold. We are not in the business of listing homes. We're in the business of selling homes.
So just as a seller's point of view, let's pose the same question to buyers. How come this data is so important, and how can you use it?
Yes. So how does this data impact you? You can get into the home, let's say at 7%, which is kind of where we're at right now. If rates are to go up, let's say in a year or two, you're going to be happy that you got into that home at 7% instead of 9 or 10%. If rates come down, then you're going to say, okay, I'm really glad I got this house at a good price. Let me go ahead and refinance to take advantage of this good rate. So if you can afford that home that you find and you love at the $550 price point with a 7% interest rate, then go ahead and make that move, because it makes sense for you. That way, you're not going to be bummed if they go up, but you'll be happy when they go down, because you can then take advantage of those new interest rates.
Both buyers and sellers, it's all about your lifestyle. Yes. Like you mentioned it, you said it great. It's, if you can do this and it's the right time for you, reach out to a trusted realtor, reach out to us. Because really understanding, making sure you are not mortgage poor. There is nothing worse than, expecting the rates to go down and either waiting and they don't, and then you don't get a house. But it's all about your lifestyle. How will this enhance your lifestyle? Buying and selling. And for most people, it absolutely does. If you're just getting in the market for the first time and this is a stepping stone house, not your dream home, this is still going to serve you. If this is your second home, this is your third home, maybe you're trying to get somewhere specific, try to build some equity, whatever that looks like. At the end of the day, as long as you can afford your payments and it enhances your lifestyle, go for it.
And I just wanted to kind of give an example with some numbers, especially since October of 2021 and October of 2022 have the same median price, but two very different interest rates. So first, we're going to look at $550,000 in October of 2021, the highest interest rate we saw was 3.14%. So $550,000 at a 3.14% interest rate, you would have been looking at a mortgage at about $2,600. Okay? So let's jump forward. If you would have bought that same house at $550,000 at 7.08 interest rate, which is the highest interest rate that we saw in October of 2022, you'd be looking at a payment of $3,600. So that's about $1,000 difference per month that you'd be paying. Again, how does that affect buyers? Like Nicole said, It all is about lifestyle. If it makes sense for you to buy this home and you're not going to be mortgage poor, house poor, then go ahead and make that move because the home is still going to serve you.
So for the monthly stats for the Sac region, the average sales price right now is $630,000. Again, it is very different for each neighborhood, and this is an average.
How is average price point different than median price point?
So the average is where you're taking all of the prices and you're adding them and dividing by that number.
Yes.
All right, the median price point is the middle number from the highest to the lowest.
Gotcha. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure we explain it for everybody.
All right. Now, the average days on market is 39. So a lot of times sellers are freaking out or buyers are thinking, what's wrong with the house? Because the days on market's a bit longer. Yeah, it is. And it's okay. Really, truly, honestly. So we had months of inventory. There was 2.6 months of inventory. What does that even mean? That means if not one other house came on the market today, and we had to sell all the houses that were on the market, and that was it, it would take roughly 2.6 months to sell all of those homes. Again, we're really not in a bad place as far as the market goes. Yeah. Compared, if we're comparing it to pandemic, that's different.
Just as a reminder, for over 2 years, we were at less than 1 month of inventory. So this is good.
And for buyers, you couldn't even think. You didn't get to do your home inspections. You didn't get to do anything. You had to pounce on it, $100,000 more just to get into the house. And now we get to breathe. We get to do our due diligence. Okay. And then there was 3,761 active houses or homes on the market. There was 1,511 pending homes, and there was 1,474 homes sold in the month of October in the Sacramento region.
So that's
back to you, Marvin.
Yeah, that's good information because I think a lot of times in the media, we're seeing that things are slowing down so much and homes aren't selling. But as you just said, over 1,500 homes sold in just the month of October alone.
The houses are moving. We like to reference Ryan a lot. He's just wonderful with the data. But there was a point in time where he's like, you're putting jet fuel inside of a car. At the rate the market was going, it was insane. Now he still uses a similar analogy where it's like the cars haven't parked. They're just maybe going the speed limit.
This is great information. We hope that you guys find it beneficial. We'll be doing these every single month, giving a market update on what's going on in the Sacramento region. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, like, subscribe, comment below, and give us a follow on the other social medias like Instagram and TikTok. My handle is @MovesWithMarvin.
And I'm at your Sactown Living or Nicole Chuck.